At the dawn of the 21st century, Turkey was witnessing an economic miracle. In the aftermath of the 2001 economic crisis, the reforms implemented transformed Turkey into a shining star on the global stage. Foreign investments poured in, and economic growth rates soared into double digits. Behind this success was strong leadership steering the country forward. In 2003, Tayyip Erdoğan, leader of the Justice and Development Party, assumed office as the country's new prime minister. Under Erdoğan's leadership, Turkey achieved not only economic growth but also political stability. During this period, the increase in the standard of living further solidified the public's trust in Erdoğan. The construction boom, modern infrastructure projects, and rising tourism revenues all fueled this growth, seen as a triumph of the Erdoğan government. International institutions like the World Bank and IMF hailed Turkey as a success story. In the first decade of the 2000s, Turkey was among the fastest-growing economies in the world. During this period, Turkey was often celebrated in international media as Ankara's miracle. However, every rise comes with a fall. As the years progressed, Turkey's economic miracle began to be overshadowed by a growing dark cloud. But how did this happen? The successes of Erdoğan's early years brought stability to the country and gained the trust of much of the population. However, over time, these successes were accompanied by the centralization of political power and a gradual erosion of democracy. The 2007 general election further solidified the AKP's hold on power, strengthening Erdoğan's position in Turkish politics. With a commanding majority in parliament, the AKP was able to push through reforms and install loyalists in key state institutions. During this period, high-profile cases like the Ergenekon and Balyoz trials brought long-standing tensions with the military and secular circles to the forefront. The government used these trials to purge opponents and shift the balance of power within the state. However, many saw these trials as politically motivated, raising concerns about the politicization of justice. As these trials unfolded, criticism of the government began to grow. Concerns about press freedom, freedom of expression, and the rule of law intensified. Journalists were arrested, media outlets faced increasing pressure, and dissenting voices were silenced.
154 tane gazeteci bizim ülkemizde şu anda demir parmaklıkların arkasındaymış. Böyle bir sayı yok. Bir diğeri de tam aksine bunlar gazeteci bilen değil. Terör örgütü bunların eline bir basın kartı tutuşturmuş ve bunlar terörist, bunlar bankamatik soyguncusu, bunlar affedersiniz silah bulundurmaktan yakalanmış vesaire katil türler.
The 2013 Gezi Park protests became a symbol of the growing discontent with the government. What began as a peaceful demonstration to protect a park in Istanbul quickly escalated into widespread anti-government protests across the country. The government's harsh response, including police crackdowns and mass detentions, deepened societal polarization.
Şu anda evlerinde bizim zorla tuttuğumuz bu ülkenin en az %50'si var. Ve biz onlara diyoruz ki aman sabırlı olun. Sakın bu oyunlara gelmeyin.
Erdoğan and his government framed these protests as an attempted coup and responded by tightening security measures even further. Despite the growing criticism, Erdoğan consolidated his power, using increasingly divisive rhetoric to separate society into us and them. Internationally, criticism of Erdoğan also grew. The European Union and human rights organizations expressed their concerns over the state of democracy and human rights in Turkey. However, these criticisms did little to deter Erdoğan, who instead steered the government toward a more authoritarian and inward-looking direction. The economic growth of Erdoğan's early years quickly gave way to a slowing economy, rising inflation, and increasing unemployment. This negative trend in the economy deepened further with the rise in Turkey's external debt and the depreciation of the Turkish lira. As the effects of the economic crisis grew, the Erdoğan government began seeking unconventional solutions.
Faizin sebep enflasyonun netice olduğu kanaatindeyim. Ve bu konuda beni anlamayanlar er veya geç anlayacaklar. Enflasyon şu bu gibi, yani yok hıyarmış, yok salataymış filan falan, bunlardan kaynaklanan bir şey değil. Enflasyonu doğuran ana sebep faizdir, faiz. Bunu öğreneceksiniz.
Erdoğan, basing this policy on Islamic references, argued for lowering interest rates. However, this decision caused great concern in the markets and led to further destabilization of the economy. The IMKB's interest rate policy and the government's economic management caused widespread dissatisfaction among the public. Rising inflation skyrocketed the prices of basic necessities, and many families began to struggle to make ends meet. Small businesses were closing down, and unemployment rates were rising. Turkey's economic troubles were further complicated by tensions in international relations. The Brunson crisis with the US, in particular, led to sanctions against Turkey and a significant depreciation of the Turkish lira. During the crisis, the government resorted to harsh measures like tax hikes and cuts in social aid. However, these measures only increased the economic burden on the public and deepened financial struggles. A large portion of society was dissatisfied with the government's crisis management, leading to a significant drop in public support for Erdoğan.
Well, tonight, Turkey is blaming ISIS for the terrorist attack at the airport in Istanbul. CIA Director John Brennan says it bears the hallmarks of ISIS's depravity. 3 suicide bombers were determined to inflict the most carnage they could. More than 200 were hurt, 42 were killed.
Starting in 2015, Turkey faced increasing threats of terrorism and security concerns. Large-scale attacks by ISIS and the PKK forced the government to increase security measures. However, this led to an expansion of the state's security policies and a restriction of freedoms. The Erdoğan government increasingly restricted democratic rights and freedoms, citing security concerns. Press freedom was curtailed, dissenting voices were silenced, and civil society organizations faced pressure, leading to a significant decline in Turkey's democratic standing. The July 15, 2016 coup attempt marked a turning point where Erdoğan's government consolidated its power. The state of emergency declared after the coup was used as an opportunity to strengthen Erdoğan's authority. Thousands were arrested, media outlets were shut down, and pressure on the opposition increased. Along with increased domestic repression, the Erdoğan government also adopted an aggressive stance in foreign policy. The military operations in Syria were presented as steps to protect Turkey's regional interests. However, these policies weakened Turkey's relations with its traditional allies and led to growing isolation on the international stage. The economic crisis, international isolation, and increasing internal tensions have made Erdoğan's rule increasingly fragile. Security policies, authoritarianism, and failures in foreign policy have significantly eroded the public support Erdoğan enjoyed in the early 2000s. Turkey has been facing an ongoing economic crisis, authoritarianism, and international isolation for years. This process has left much of the population in uncertainty and despair. However, these crises also offer an opportunity for a new Turkey. In his early years, Erdoğan led Turkey to economic prosperity and a respected position on the global stage. But over time, increasing authoritarianism and misguided policies have plunged the country into a cycle of crises. Erdoğan's leadership, once a symbol of hope, has now become a source of deep disappointment. Today, across Turkey, the public is calling for change. Young people, the unemployed, the opposition. Everyone is seeking a better future, a more just government. The future of Turkey depends on how well this demand for change is answered. Just as in the past, Turkey today can overcome its difficulties. This period of crisis could herald the birth of a new Turkey. The future will be shaped by the hands of the Turkish people.